Hey everyone, today we're talking Dark Wind Season 4 finale. Welcome to Screens in Focus. I'm Diana. Renee is here. Hi Renee, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
Good.
I'm ready. Are you
Yes.
ready?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. All right, so the Chee and Bern moment prior to the ceremony had me thinking, have you ever had a moment where you thought you were on your own and then someone showed up for you? That is our question of the day.
Good one.
Yeah, so think about that. Friends out there, think about that. Okay. We're going to answer that later on in the episode. But this finale gave us a lot. It gave us closure, some really emotional moments, that sense of community, and definitely some shocking moments. One of them was Irene and what was going to happen with her and Joe, because you and I had been anticipating every single episode, how is this going to end? We wanted her, we knew what we wanted for her, but we didn't know how we were going to get there. I I have to tell you though, I did not. I'm glad I was surprised, but I did not know that her face was going to end up like just half there. What did you think of that moment?
Yeah, the moment itself, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's on fire!" I was just totally, yeah, totally shocked because, like you said, I thought we would see an end to her one way or
Yeah.
another, not knowing whether he just capture her. I figured he would end up shooting her, is what I thought, because
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was it was a big shock. I mean, it was just clever. It was very, like you said, unexpected, and so I wouldn't have had that down. I thought I thought the whole bunker thing went on way too long. Just initial, and I'll say initially, because then I watched it again after watching the whole thing, so that I was able to um, think better on some of the parts of that. But I did think it was great. That interaction we've been longing for between the two of them
Yeah.
at the end there. I'm glad, and I was glad he didn't kill her that way. Because I felt like that's kind of what he's trying to get away from. Because
Right.
of everything. And so I was glad that he didn't. I mean, I kind of wanted her dead, but
I know.
if he would have shot her like in self defense or something,
Yes.
I would have been okay with it. But yes, so I was
Yeah.
glad that he didn't kill her. But yes,
Yeah.
it's quite crazy.
I agree with you on every single point, because that beginning part with the bunker, I feel like we needed to see a lot of it, but
Mhm.
then it kept going on and on. And I, as much as I love seeing Joe, she was just so crazy, so obsessed that I'm like, I am done with you, lady. Okay, get out of here. And I was really relieved to see Billy. What did you think of that? Place setting when they showed 3, did you know it was gonna
I
be
thought it
her?
was because I've said before that I thought she wouldn't kill Billy
Yeah.
because she needed the leverage on Joe. That she would, and then after we get into the scenario, there's like, you're no way you're talking him into playing house without some kind of something going on.
Yeah.
So I saw that, oh, Billy, and then there she came. So I was like, okay, good, she's still alive.
I didn't even think about it for some reason. Like, I agree, I thought Billy was alive, but I didn't know, my brain, it was too fast. Like,
Right, it
"Oh,
was fast.
who's that? Who's gonna be sitting there?" And of course, Emma comes across my mind, but I'm thinking, well, she would never do that because that's her competition. Why would she do that? And then I thought for a moment, could it be her dad? Like she mummified him or something and was bringing him? I mean, she's crazy,
Dad,
right? So,
meet my Joe.
yes, exactly. So I'm like, oh my God, who's she going to bring? So I was actually really relieved that it was Billy, because I'm
Not a
like,
mummified father.
yes, because that really helps
Mhm.
move the story along, and what we thought that Billy
Mhm.
would still be there. But I didn't realize it was going to be her idea of a family. Like I
Mhm.
had no idea that she was going to be like, Joe, you're the dad, you're my husband, I'm the mom, and Billy's our child. But in a way, thank goodness, because if she didn't view her as a child, then she would not have saved her,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was grateful for that, moment at that
Mhm.
part. But I'm thinking, oh my God, Irene, you are so far gone. This is like crazy. Also, as you had mentioned, them being too long in that bunker and me feeling the same way, I think it would have been really great if they had shown Bern and Chee, like, what were they thinking this whole time? Because
Mhm.
this was a couple of days
Mhm,
or
mhm.
nights, right? So they're
Yeah.
probably wondering, where's Joe? Like,
Mhm.
where could he be? Does Irene have him? Like, where is he? And it would have been good to have shown them sort of searching for him, or just at least a moment to
Mhm.
give us something outside. I think that would have been really good. Also, I noticed for me personally, I like when there are outdoor scenes
Mhm.
interjected with indoor scenes. Like, I can't be inside the whole time. It drives me nuts, because when they finally came out,
Mhm.
uh, of the bill, all three of them, when she brought him out, which I was so shocked that she did do that.
Yeah.
It was like a relief. It was like, oh my God, they're so close to running away, getting away from her. I wonder if they're going to get away from her. But it was such a relief to see that. But I do want to ask you about the scene that we had talked about last episode, about her coming in without her shirt on. What did you think of that moment?
Oh my gosh. I was like, Irene, what are you doing? First of all, what? You just, this is not the right time for this. I mean, like, even if he was anywhere near on board for this, the man's coming out of his stupor from your whatever you're gassing him with and
Yeah,
all this stuff. And here you come in your bra. Like, it's, you think he's just going to, okay, I guess
I
we're,
know.
we're mom and dad now. So, yeah. So, I mean, it just shows you, like, her, her upbringing was so very different than anything, not a family atmosphere whatsoever. They were teaching her to be this killer.
Yes,
That's what they were
yes,
grooming her to do. Her dad and her grandpa, that's what they were grooming
yes.
her. And so I think just this in her brain, she just had this idyllic life in her, like how it should be. And so that's what she's just trying to play act and make that happen
Yeah.
forcibly, which, you can't force someone to do these things. You must love me. You must, that's not how that works. But she doesn't know that, though, I don't think either. I mean, there was no love between her and her grandpa. She took care of him just out of, obligation, she felt she had
Yeah.
to, kind of thing. So yeah, that was quite weird. Then the whole cutting of the palms and all, I'm like, oh, and then
Yes.
she licked it. I'm
Licks
like, are
it.
you freaking kidding
Yeah.
me? That was just so, I mean, it was just so bizarre. But I love how well written this character was and how she just nailed it. I forgot the actress's name, but she has been phenomenal. I mean, she's off the just completely off the wall, rails or whatever. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been fun to see this character, and I'm glad she's where she needs to be now.
Yeah. Me too. And oh, there's so many thoughts going through my head. So one, I wanted to say Joe was ingenious for so many reasons.
Hmm.
Really uh scanning the room that he's in and trying to figure out what he can use, and figuring out there was something in the water, and knowing to get that charcoal filter,
Hmm.
and using that to his advantage, and just the gas and her lighter and the keys, just everything coming together at different moments, and how he used it. I'm like, Joe, he's just I love him.
Because
He's such a good detective.
yeah, like I was thinking,
Or
like the
yeah.
gas, he would have had seen that when he was being taken out of the vehicle. Like he
Yeah.
is always looking at everything, and so
Yeah.
I love how he started piecing things together. Like, okay, I saw gas outside, I could do this, I can breathe through this thing, and
Yeah.
just formulating his plan. And yeah, it's always fun to watch him at work.
It is. It is. And then I was thinking, when she was on fire, or her
Hmm.
face was on fire, how is she holding a gun and shooting people? I'm thinking the woman is pretty crazy, though. And
Hmm.
sometimes when you're that far gone, I
Yeah,
don't
you
know,
just
you kind of,
superhuman strength kind of thing.
yes, or
Hmm.
she's just more like, oh, they're going to get away and I can't let them get away. And I need to shoot them, even though half my face is burnt off. I'm like, oh my gosh. When she got up, I mean, it felt like it was like Terminator or
Yeah,
something, right? Because it's like she doesn't stop. There's nothing you can do.
should have
She's
stopped
gonna,
you.
yeah, she's gonna keep on going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy too. I think the only other thing I wanted to add was And you may have seen this too, this article that I was reading about, because you had mentioned how her dad and her grandfather were training her. And I had read an article about that. And also it had talked about how Zahn had said that he feels like Joe was fascinated by her. So she might have been receiving some mixed messages or taking little inklings of his fascination of her and taking that as like, oh, he likes me, or there's something there, he finds me intriguing. So I thought that was interesting to read that too. So Irene works for McNair, and of course we see Joe go and talk to McNair. And I thought that interaction between the two of them, Joe was so antagonistic, and I thought, ooh, you're really poking the bear here, Joe. Should you be doing this? I don't know. What was your thought in their conversation?
Well, we mentioned the last, podcast episode that we think, like they're setting him up, McNair, to be the next, like big bad, or at least somehow. And so I liked seeing him again in this finale, just to remind you, yep, this is the guy, and then, Joe and his tough guy. I loved it. He's like, my name and where to find me, and so he's like, okay. But I also feel that his, his, hostility and stuff was pretty warranted. He's gone through, he's lost how many Navajo people died at this man's hand. How many, personally, he suffered because of his wife was, almost abducted. There was just so many things that, trying to get rid of, all the witnesses and all these things. I don't know. I don't feel like he was kind of hostile. And like you said, poking the bear, maybe that's not a good idea. But at the same time, I think he has to show this guy, I'm not a wimp. I'm not going to just bow down to you. I got your best man, woman, he says that to him too. You sent your best man or woman, so I think he's just trying to show him that he's not afraid of him, and come and get me, if that's what you're going to do, and so I just really hope that he plays a big part in the next season, because I think it would be amazing to see these two come head to head. We're excited about him and Irene, but man, I want to see these two.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I think it'd be fun to watch these two, but I kept, because I worry about Joe and everybody he cares about. And so but I can also understand, because he does want him to pay for the 4 people that he mentioned right then and there. Those were each people, and 3 of them were from the same family.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. So, and at the same time, they almost lost Billy too. So, so I don't blame him, but I just get worried, because I'm like, oh my God, you're telling him your name, you're telling him who they are, and he might just come and find you. So I thought that was.
I do have a question for you about that. So do you think McNair is responsible for Gordo's death?
I think he could be. I don't know 100%, because my thought is that we're jumping ahead here, but with Gordo, I feel like he talked about a lot of things with Joe when they met, but do those pertain to McNair? We don't know yet. So it's hard to say. So yes, I could absolutely see that. And could that be him, coming back because like showing Joe, hey, look, I can get close to someone, that's a part of you. Or is it truly something separate and something he'll have to investigate? Joe will have to investigate. I don't know yet. What do you think?
Well, I just thought, he could be, having someone spy on him, and, like watching Joe, like he has people on the outside, and the inside for that matter. And so, did he send somebody, oh, okay, this guy's close to him. Well, okay, then, that could be our first one. But I also thought too, he said that he was investigating cold cases. And so it definitely could be something in that. And then that will open up another thing in the next season. So I just kind of was curious what your thoughts were. Because I initially thought that, then I said, oh, wait a minute, he mentioned those cold cases.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, yeah, it's control. So, of course, that's probably what they're making us want to think both things and, of course, not do anything.
Absolutely, 100%. That's what I think too, right? They're thinking, oh, it could be part of this, or oh, it could be part of that, or they could be combined, or they might not have anything to do with each other.
Yeah, right.
It's so well written. We can't ever predict, because It gives us so many layers that we don't even know yet, and we will come to find them out. So that is why we love this show so much, because it can be so many different answers. Okay, Bern and Chee. And we saw so much of this last episode, which you and I had talked before we press record, how I just loved the penultimate episode. I just thought it was so amazing. And I loved how it wrapped up everything that was most of what was happening with Chee, and that I had hoped that we would see the ceremony, or at least this aspect of it. So when Bern and Chee were standing there looking at that road, what did you think?
So I thought at least Joe would show up. And so I thought he's not going to miss this. And so I was hoping to see him at least. So then, but then I thought also, I said, well, then on the other side, I thought, well, maybe this would just be something personal that he would just share with Bern, and that would just help their bond as well. If, maybe that's how it would play out. But I was so happy. And I it was like, they're showing the, different people that are there. And I'm like, I'm tearing up because he was already tearing up. So then I started tearing up, and then I saw like, Billy with her mom. I'm like, oh, they're back, they're back home, like they said. And then I saw his teacher hat. I thought that was such a sweet moment with her having a little, And then when I saw Emma, though, I just started bawling. I was like, nope. And I was just sobbing through the whole rest of the episode.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I love that they all showed up to give him the support, because he just feels like an outsider. And now he can. But I do wish we would have seen something, and maybe they can't show, like maybe that's against their beliefs and things, to show more of the ceremony. But I wish we could have seen that. But it could be possibly that it's personal and they won't let anybody else see it. So but it was pretty amazing.
Well, that was a good way to say that, because I would have loved to see more of the ceremony too. But just how everybody showed up was just really satisfying, and it was very emotional. And I did read that Kiowa said that when he read it, it was so emotional for him on the page. And I think even when he was interviewing, they said in there that like he got choked up talking.
I saw that article. Yeah. Cause he said, sorry. They said something about in parentheses, and he said, sorry. So he got emotional just talking, because it was, I mean, she's been on quite the thing this season, and so, that's awesome.
So the fact that he felt it as an actor portraying this character, it just says a lot about how much he really feels for this character. And so I thought it was really sweet. But I can say I actually thought the cars were going to come. Like I just thought they were going to be late, because if they didn't, I would have been more surprised, because I just feel like this is a community, and I feel like they respect the ceremonies and the rituals that happen. So I just felt like more people would show up. It was what I was hoping, what I expected. For some reason, it reminded me of, and this is not the same, but of Field of Dreams, when all the cars are coming up the road. I'm like, oh, are they all going to come up the road? And they do. They did. Well, at least 6 cars that I saw came up the road. So that's a lot. That's a lot for this town. So I really appreciated that. I read in that article that she regarded it as the ghost way. And so the ghost way is what they were doing, which was the curing ritual, to get rid of the ghost sickness. So that was what they were actually doing, because I will say originally, I think last episode or so, I wasn't sure if they were going to be doing the ghost way, or if it was going to be something regarding his mom, like something to honor her. So I wasn't sure which way they were going, but it made sense. Yeah, he has to get, because I thought maybe the ghost sickness was a personal thing that he did. I didn't realize that that people came to support that aspect too. So so every day we learn something new, or every week when we watch the show anyway. But you had mentioned how Emma had come, but she did say, I'm here for Chee. And I'm like, okay, Joe's all happy, and he's all, okay, you came here for Chee. All right. But then of course, then they show up at the house, and they have a conversation there. And so what were your thoughts with Joe and Emma?
Well, I've kind of just got that impression that this is how it was going to be this season. Like going forward, I have no idea, but I just kept feeling like she was very hesitant where Joe was concerned. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes she'd give a little, but then she'd come back. Like I can't show too much emotion because I don't want him to get his hopes up, kind of thing. That's how I
Yeah.
felt her, just how she is. But I just feel like she's on this personal path right now, trying to like self exploration, where she's trying to find herself as, as a person more than just a wife and a mother and, that sort of thing, and she's loving, feeling appreciated at her job. She loves to help people and, being a nurse and things. And so I just feel like she just has to do this for herself, just like she wants Joe to do his things, not for her, but for himself. And so I just
Yeah.
feel like I kind of expected it to end this way this season. And I know that's not your expectation, but that was just kind of where I felt it going.
I can agree with you in what we expected. I just feel like there was just those moments that she said something that was like when she tells him, I'm going home to LA. Now, I am so glad that he came back and told her something, because when she said it, I'm like, what are you talking about? And the fact that I felt that, and then they wrote it, they must have written it in there knowing that people were going to have that
Yeah.
reaction. And then to have him say, next time you say that, can you just say, I'm going back to Los Angeles? Because in my head, that's what I was saying. I'm like, can't you just say you're going back to LA, not your home?
Yeah.
That's not your home. That's just where you live. And so I was so glad that he said that. But I will say, after reading things that Emma and her character, or the actress that plays her, talk about how she really has to find that balance, that she really has to find it, and that she knows that Joe has to find it. And once probably they both find it individually, then maybe they can come back together. And she talked about how loyalty and devotion run so deep, and that this is the man that she married, she's been with, the one she had a child with. And I forget, but she had sterilization after her
That's right.
child. So she, it's not like they could have any more children. That was her child, and somebody took it. And then it made me mad again at BJ Vines. And then I was like, no wonder Joe did what he did. It's just like all those feelings came back, around them, surrounding them, thinking about this. But after reading her take on the character and her take on what needs to happen or occur to her to possibly go back to Joe, it made more sense. And now I'm like, okay, give me breathing room, because I don't know. We said, unless she says it, we don't know what she's feeling. Because I was thinking, when she was going to get back in her car, what if when she's in Los Angeles, she meets some guy or whoever, and things start off innocently all the time. So who's to say what will happen or what can occur? But the fact that she said about loyalty and devotion, and how they still love each other. Oh, and they did give each other that really nice kiss. So I appreciated that too. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And I like also that she questions him, like, why are you retiring? Make sure you're doing it for you. You have to do what's right for you. So then after that, he does go and talk to Gordo, because they're going to go fishing. He's going to retire. And we're still like on the fence. Is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? Although I'm thinking he's not retiring. No. You're thinking now he's not retiring. We still have more dark winds to go, but we didn't know how that was going to come about because of everything that he planned. But I have to say that conversation between him and Gordo, I knew it was a nice conversation. They're friends. They've become really good friends, but I had no idea the impact that conversation would have. So it wasn't until the second time that I watched it that I thought, ooh, this is really important. Let me listen to everything that Gordo has to say so that we understand what is happening. So what did you think of the moments with them?
Well, I just love them talking about their fishing and retiring, and just a nice, conversation between longtime friends and that kind of thing. but like you said, on my second watch, then I did pay more
Yeah.
attention because I'm like, this is their last conversation. And so it was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, so that second time through, I really, like you said, I paid attention to things,
Yeah.
but, it was, I don't know, it was just good to have him hear someone else kind of not listening to Emma, not listening to Bern or Chee, just somebody that hasn't really been right in the middle of everything this season. And so, it was pretty, a shock at the end then. I think I mentioned this before too about A. Martinez and how well he has
Oh,
played this
yes, you
role.
have.
Because to me, it's like, you have hardly been in this season. Even if you look at the whole show, he hasn't been on that much, but he's made quite an impact on viewers with just the screen time that he's had, just the things he said, the things he's done. We saw him with his wife that he's taking care of. There are just so many things that just, he just has done a phenomenal job with very little screen time. So I just kudos to him for, all his hard work in dedication to this role, so
Yeah.
I think that's pretty amazing. But it was very sad then at the end.
It was sad because, again, we thought we would see more of him. And like you said, we like him as a character. And last episode, when we were talking, I wanted to bring him up, and for some reason, our conversation just flowed and we got it done. Oh, I think it was when we talked about what are you expecting in the finale? And I thought, I'm expecting to see him again. That's what I was thinking. We did see him again, and I'm glad we did. But at the same time, I don't like where it leads. And it's going to be sad not having him on the show. But then also sad, he's not there to take care of his wife.
I know.
Barbara.
Who's taking care of Barbara?
Yeah, who's taking care of Barbara now? I'm like, wait, no. What's going to happen to Barbara? So hopefully they have a child somewhere, or relatives, or somebody.
Maybe we'll get to see him in like some flashbacks, especially if Joe does any kind of investigating, like with those cold cases and things. Maybe we'll see him, maybe we'll get to still see him with some of that backstory or something.
That's so true. I would love that.
That's my hope.
That's such a great way to bring back characters too.
I know. So, I love it.
I love it. I think you're on to something there, Renee. There were themes that we saw throughout the season and in this episode, but I did want to bring up that when Joe was locked up in that room, we saw all those books, all those novels, and Carl May was one of the authors, and I tried to take note of who it was. And when Irene is in her bra and she's talking to Joe about the stories that she's read, she talks about them there. And so I looked it up, and Carl May was an author, 1842 to 1912. He was highly popular German author and known for the adventure novel set in America, Wild West, featuring Winnetou and Old Shatterhand, and also the Orient. But it was interesting because Irene identified with these warriors and in the story, and then she runs into Joe, and now it's like the pages of this book have come out right in front of her, and this whole fantasy, which reminds me of what you were wondering, because you kept saying, but why is she so obsessed with him? Like, what does she know about him? Why does she think she knows him? How does she know this culture? And so I was thinking, oh, this answers all of Renee's questions, because it makes so much sense knowing that she was immersed in these books during wartime, and she just saw this hero in these. And so that's what Joe was. Does that help you?
I was very satisfied because I was like, oh, thank goodness they gave us an explanation for her insanity. Because I'm like, I've asked, how many times have I asked? I'm like, what's driving this woman? We all know Joe's awesome, but she hardly knows this guy, So no, I love that. And I love the history, and like, it's just always so fun to, dig into that kind of stuff and, learn a little more. But yes, I was very pleased with the answers I got.
All right. So I want to get to our rapid fire questions. We have a few more than we normally do because this is the season finale. And we're going to talk about this episode and the whole season. Okay. So you can answer whatever comes to mind for you. All right. Here we go. Which death shocked you the most from the season?
Gordo. And I don't know if that's just because it's the freshest one in my mind or whatever, but I didn't expect that at all.
I think the one that saddens me the most is Gordo. But I
Mhm.
think for some reason in my mind, the one that came up as a shock to me was when Irene went after that grandpa,
Oh, yeah, that's
Leroy and
true.
Albert's grandpa. And I think only because we saw it happen.
Mhm.
We saw her like coming after him and killing him. And I felt so bad for him. So it shocked me the way she
Mhm.
did it,
Very,
and
yeah, that was pretty.
you'd think we'd be shocked by killing her grandpa, but
Yeah.
he wasn't a great guy. So,
Yeah.
maybe that's the moment. Okay. What made you cringe or hold your breath?
The cringe was her licking his bloody hand. Yeah, I was like, I was shocked at that. I couldn't believe that. It was just very strange, and I don't know what the point of that was.
Yeah. For me, it was her walking in with just her bra on because I really, really didn't know what she was going to do. I'm like, what are you going? I mean, Irene is out there. She could have done anything. I was like getting my blanket ready to hide behind it
Yeah,
because I'm like, I don't want to see what she's going to do next. I don't know what she's going to do. I'm scared for Joe. And he's trapped. And he has, what's going to happen? So that was
Mhm.
what got me. Okay. Who had the most emotional storyline?
There's several, but I think Chi. I just feel like he went through it, man. He just had so much going on, and he had, he's trying to repair his relationship, and he's seeing his dead mother, and he's
Yeah.
bleeding everywhere, and he doesn't know what's real, and they got beat up, and just had a lot going on. So I just really felt for him this season, but I enjoyed the storyline, and I enjoyed his growth. I liked seeing more of him. I think in the next season he's going to be a real, he's going to be built up a lot, and it would be exciting to see where his character goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. The most emotional storyline is Chi. So much growth. So we learn so much about him.
Yes.
Um, I cried with him the moment that with him and Bernadette in the hospital
Oh,
when he
yes.
was just telling her why he carried so much guilt. I just felt so bad for him and just everything he went through. And I love how in the end, when he went to go sweat with Joe, that he apologized for what he had said. And this is, again, why I love this script and this writing so much, because he takes the time. Like so many people would have moved on to a different aspect, but the writers remember what has come before,
Mhm.
and they know how to reintroduce it or address it. And so um, I thought the fact that he apologized to Joe and to Bernadette and to everybody, that it just, he had the best arc, and
Mhm.
it was very emotional, and even ending on a high emotional
Mhm.
moment I thought was very, very cool.
Mhm.
All right, what was your favorite moment or one that stayed with you this season?
Mhm.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, no, and doing these, I thought it was just this episode, so I was focused
That's
there.
fine.
Yeah, so
That's fine.
that's because the one I picked from this episode anyway was the scene between Joe and Chi at the sweat, and he
Yeah.
says, "I have my doubts about you leaving, Jim," and he's like, "Yeah, and I have my doubts you're turning your badge tomorrow." And I just felt that that was such a good book end for this, just how their relationship has kind of been they just haven't really had a lot of interaction this season and things like that. But it just shows you that all they've endured, both of them individually or together, whatever's been going on, they're still just have that good camaraderie and, kind of joke with each other and things. So I really liked that. I thought that was just a good way, like you were saying, to kind of
Yeah.
go back to that and things. So,
The setting when that happened
mhm.
was gorgeous. There were so many. The scenery when you at that moment that you were talking about was just gorgeous.
Mhm.
Like I thought the backdrop was gorgeous. I liked what she was wearing. He looked good. I mean, I'm like looking at everything in that
Mhm.
scene, the horses, the way he rode up on those horses. I just thought everything was so spot on and just so good with that. So, and then to have that conversation, I think that
Mhm.
that's a great conversation. For me, it's so hard. There are so
Mhm.
many like moments like that lead up. Like the diner moment in the beginning was
Mhm.
really good. It caught our attention. And I have to say one of the moments too was, and this part I think has stuck in my brain, but when Irene comes upon Joe in the sweat lodge and she kisses him. That moment, I'm like, because that was the turning point of knowing who she was and what this was going to mean for the series. So that was a really big moment and just emotional. Of course, I love seeing them kiss, Joe and Emma, even though it wasn't, I don't know what it was representative of, I guess just of their past or who they are to each other, but I did appreciate that. Okay, what was your favorite action sequence?
I loved Joe in that abandoned building outside the club when he saw the snipers up there or whatever. The guy we ended up, I think that we learned that it was the FBI, right? But I just thought that was, I don't know, it was kind of the first real, like I felt really a lot of tension and a lot of, oh no, Joe, you're always afraid for him, even though he can't die. He's Joe, right?
Yeah,
but I just thought it was, I don't know, something about that was just really cool that stuck out in my brain. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Mine's going to be the one with Joe running through the field to catch the car. Irene and Billy in the car. I just love that scene. And I saw a clip of it online and I'm like, that's the scene that I love. There's something about it that just, I got excited. Like you said, you get excited, you like kind of sit up and you're like, what's going to happen? Is he going to catch the car? And I just thought it was shot beautifully because I think that showed it from different angles. And
I think that's what made it even better was we got to see, so it was more tension filled because you think he's really close and then they, oh no, he's not as close as I thought he was. And so I think the way it was shot made it that much better.
Yeah. Okay. I have to apologize for my stupid bangs because I keep moving them from my face. And that's all you're going to see. This whole episode is Diana Quinn like this with her long bangs. Okay. Woo! I just drive me nuts. Okay. What was your favorite scenery?
I think anytime we're on the res, like, you're saying, just like, it's not always like, it's often just very subtle. It's not what they're focused on. They're focused on the people and what's going on. But then even just behind them, you're like, what? Look at this. It's just gorgeous wherever they are. So I think, just about any time on the res, I'm like just in awe of what I'm seeing.
I have noticed it. I think I notice it every season, but I think I even noticed it even more. And what's interesting is when they were in Los Angeles and all of that, I loved it. I loved everything because of the look of the 70s in Los Angeles, like the cars and the clothes and, the stores and the motels and the colors and the lava lamps and everything. I love all of that, but it really doesn't compare to what we see as the backdrop of this res because it's gorgeous. The sky, I noticed the sky, I noticed the moon, I noticed the sun. I noticed, even though it looks sometimes kind of barren at times, it looks beautiful. And that moment I said with Chee and Joe, I just loved the horses riding up. It felt like almost like a Western of some sort, but it was just very cool. And I loved the whole vibe. I love how it's shot. They just do an amazing job, the whole crew.
Yeah.
So kudos to all of them. All right. What are you hoping for in season 5?
Well, I feel like every season has gotten better, so I have high hopes. And I probably said this at the end of the last season, but I have high hopes for this next season. And I feel like season 4 met my expectation. I mean, it was, it was outstanding. And so I'm, high hopes, but I think it's going to a lot of emotions, when you got to be figure out who has killed Gordo. I think that's going to be especially for Joe, it's going to be, very emotional, as well as, just a lot of tension because he's going to want to get this thing solved. He's going to want to find out who did this. And so I'm excited to see where that will go. And like I said, I hope we see more of McNair for sure. I just feel like that's going to be a fun, he'll be a great adversary for Joe, where they can, I don't know what will happen between them, but I feel like it'd be pretty dynamic, I guess. And those are the main things, I guess. And hopefully, we see Emma Joe, reunion and that hopefully Bern and Chee can quit being goofballs and just keep in a good place. So, and then anything new, I'm always open to, all these new things that we're seeing, because like you said, the LA thing, that was so cool to add. I know we both have been just like loving the whole 70s vibe of the whole series, but this was this I guess because it was in the city and you got to see, some familiar things with the cars and like the
Yeah.
fashions and things. So
Yeah.
it'll be exciting.
And the music too.
Yeah, the
we got
music.
to
Yeah,
listen
they did a
to.
great job picking the songs. Yeah, that was very good.
There was a song in here. What I think it was Willie Nelson, wasn't it?
At the end, yes, and it was a medley. These are difficult times, and remember the good times. So it was those kind of a medley of those, and it was him, and then Diane Cannon, who was, I don't know how much music she did, but I do knew her as an actress in like the 80s and
Yeah,
probably
it
the
sounds.
70s
Yeah,
and
her name
stuff.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but that was very cool because it kind of did like kind of closed all that
Montage.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So it was
Yes.
but we always have to pay attention to those songs because
We do. Well, it struck me because, of course, the music always strikes me. And so it started with Joe, and then it went to Chee when he was sitting there with thinking, contemplating, and then he goes, and then they go to Sweat. I think it was during all that time. But I knew, I was paying attention to the lyrics, and you said the title of it was what was
these are difficult times, and then
times.
Remember the good times.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true because these are difficult times because here Emma's leaving and that's when it started. The music started, and I kept listening. I'm like, wait, I know this voice. I know this voice.
Because it even went into when he mentioned Gordo, right?
Wait, I thought it was also when Bernadette. Maybe it wasn't the Sweat Lodge. Was it the Sweat Lodge? No, we're gonna have to go back and listen.
Yeah, because the Sweat Lodge was at the very end, and then Joe has the phone, and then he tells Bernadette's like, "What's wrong?" And he says, Gordo's been murdered." And I thought it was still playing during that part.
Okay, maybe it was still playing then.
Okay.
So then that would have been all that.
But then, like a long time.
Yeah, it does. That's why I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, anyway, it played towards the end. It was so awesome, and it fit so well.
It did. I agree. I loved it. All I know is I recognized the voice after a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was trying to rack at my brain. I'm like, this is Willie Nelson. I love Willie Nelson. He's so awesome. So it was very cool to hear him. All right. We had to end with a song. Oh, I do want to ask you a quick question. What do you think Bern was thinking when she got out of her car? Because she looks at the truck or the Suburban or whatever it was. Like, she's like, oh, why is... I couldn't help but think that she thought Joe was going to retire, and like, why is that car here? Because she looked at it. I'm like, why is she looking at it? And then she goes in. I was ready for her to not be thrilled that he wasn't retiring. I don't know.
Yeah, she probably was just like, wait a minute. Yeah, like, I thought I was taking on a new job today, and so she was probably, she probably was a little confused. And so that would have been, I guess, if you weren't expecting him to be there, quite the shock. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out next season too. I guess I forgot to mention that too. I was wondering how that's going to affect the, whole dynamic of the group.
Right.
When she was assuming she was going to get this job. And then now I think she'll be fine though. I think she'll be happy that he stayed. But
I loved how she hugged him when he came out, and she hugged him really hard. I love that moment, but I didn't even say what I was hoping for season 5. And I will say almost practically everything that you said, because I do want to see McNair. I can't wait to see Joe in his detective mode. And now maybe the 3 of them, maybe that they'll be they're all well. So they're going to be deep into detective mode. Maybe it's going to take all 3 of them to figure this out. How is Emma going to, be a part of this? Oh, I did read that Shorty Bowleg is supposed to, they love how the storylines interject with each other and the different characters. And so I think it's going to be a little bit of that too. So I'm excited because I do like when they introduce characters and then they come back and we get to see more of them. And maybe it'll be Billy too, and her mom, and because it is this community of people. So it'll be good to see everybody again. And we saw Joe's mom and dad there too at the end.
Okay. I guess I didn't miss that.
I could have swore it was them when they were in between there that they were coming. Yeah, I could have swore.
at the
Yeah.
ceremony. Oh,
Yeah, I thought okay, maybe
probably. I mean,
it's
that makes
wasn't
sense.
them.
Why wouldn't they? Yeah, but I guess I didn't notice that, but that doesn't mean.
Well, the funny thing is that I'm like, "Oh, those people look familiar," but it didn't dawn on me until right now as I'm talking. So I'm like, "Wait, is that who I saw?" Right? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I knew they were people I recognized, but then at the moment it was all these people I
Yeah.
recognized. So,
Yeah. Probably. Makes
that's
sense.
what made me think it would have been them. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. All right, we are getting back to our question of the day, and that is: have you ever had a moment where you thought you were on your own, and then someone showed up for you?
Yeah, I know numerous times in my life that has happened for me, but I think the most often it's been my husband, where I've just been in
Aw,
some situation and he gets some sense of she needs something kind of, and he just shows up and saves the day for me. So yeah,
aw, I
it's been
love that.
yeah, it's like he just, I don't know. We always say we've been married for so long and together so long that it's just kind of sync up and share the same brain sometimes, I think. And so he's like, I thought you might need something, So yeah. So yeah.
That's so sweet. Okay, this is what I want to say
Mhm.
though. I love it when my family or my friends have shown up for me when I didn't expect it or I
Mhm.
didn't realize I even needed it. In fact,
Mhm.
I can almost feel emotion popping up and I got to like push it down because I'm but it's true.
Mhm.
I mean, when people just know you need it and
Yeah.
they just either call, come over, say something, acknowledge it, something about it, just someone else acknowledging that maybe I'm going through something just means so much.
Mhm.
So, and I try to hopefully be that for other people too,
Mhm.
because I think it's important
It
just
is.
to be there. That's all people need is for someone to know that you have their back. And, and it's wonderful to know that people have yours. So I
Mhm.
just think that that is such a cool thing. And the little thing that I wanted to bring up because you reminded me of that, and I have to tell you, my husband always has my back. But even so minor of a thing, because my husband does not like certain types of movies that I
Mhm.
like he doesn't like musicals at all. He's like, I don't want to go see a musical ever. But has he? Yeah. Why? Because I don't have anyone to go with, and I'm like, I really want to see this, and he's like, I'll go with you, but he's there.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate it.
Mhm.
So thanks for reminding me of that, Renee, because it's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true.
And I think it's easy in this day and age for us to be that for people because I don't know, I feel like I get somebody pops in your head, send them a text, just,
Yeah,
hey, thinking
I
about you
do
because
it.
you never
Yeah.
know. Because I've done that or someone's done that to me, like, hey, you were on my mind today. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because I'm losing it over here,
Yeah.
or whatever. So I
Yeah.
think it's very easy in this age because we have the phone right there and we can talk
Yeah.
to anybody, just a simple text. And it does mean so much to people because I know when people have come, like you said, when you're not expecting them to be there or whatever, and I mean, it is just the best feeling in the world to know that
Yeah.
they got my back,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I always just think if they pop into your mind, there's a reason. Reach out.
Do it. I agree. I'm the same way. I love it. Everybody do it.
Yes.
Reach out to your mama.
Yes. Call your mom.
Anybody, but okay, I'm just reminding you to call your
Yeah.
mom. All right. Well, friends out there, what do you think? Have you ever had a moment where you thought you were on your own and someone showed up for you? We would love to know it. You can leave us a comment wherever you're listening or watching. You can get to all of our social media, screensofocus.com, which is in our show notes, or you can call us at 669-223-8542 because we would love to know. That's a wrap up of Dark Wind season 4.
Mhm.
I know.
That's sad.
On to season 5.
Yeah.
They're filming it already. I
I
know
saw
that.
that. Yes.
Yeah. When it's coming out, I don't know, but they're
Yeah.
filming it. So, all right. So, what do you have for TV or movie recommendations?
So I finished the Madison, and if you have not watched this, it's the best Taylor Sheridan thing ever created, and he's made some amazing things. So I'm just saying that you have to watch it. You just have to see it. That's all I'm going to say. And I know you watched it,
Yeah.
right? You
Yes.
finished it, yes. And
Yes.
So good. And then continuing the pit, because that like I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
come on. I'm like, we're winding down here. So that has been phenomenal again this season. And then I've never watched a lot of the NCIS series and things like that, but I started the Origins one just because I thought, well, it's the beginning. I'll start here, and kind of really focus on it. And it's been really good. It just came out with a second season, so I started in the first season. I probably am 4 or 5 episodes in, and it's been fun. It's just kind of his Gibbs' origin story, and the actor that plays him, he narrates it, so that's kind of fun to hear his voice and then see this younger version of him and things. So it's been pretty good. And then I started Vanished. It's on MGM Plus, and it's I can't even remember what the synopsis is, but the first episode was good, and I'm intrigued. So I'll report back to see if it was, because it seemed pretty good, and I'm like excited to see what's next. So we'll see on that one. Then we went to the movie theater. My daughter wanted to see the drama, oh my gosh. So I will not give any spoilers, but this was so unexpected. It was so well done. If you read the reviews online of people there, like, you have to see this in the movie theater, because people around you are laughing where you're laughing and gasping where you're gasping, and this and that, it was like this experience. And I don't know that I probably would have went to the theater to see if my daughter did. It wouldn't have been on my radar. Not that I wouldn't like it, just not the one I would have picked, I guess. So I was really glad that she invited me to go, and then I went because it was so good. And so, you have to see it. That's all. I'm not going to give away.
Want to see it. I already told one of my son's girlfriends we have to go see this. She's like, oh, I want to see that too. I'm like, we're going to go watch it because I've heard good things about it, and I just have to see it. And plus, I love them. I do. Yeah. I love them separately. I just do. So I can't wait to see it. And I love hearing good things about it. It is an A24, and I heard that it is the third highest or fourth. I don't know.
It's very high.
Opening. Yeah. And then also that it was up against the new Super Mario movie, and also Hail Mary project, Hail Mary project. So it's up against those, which are really big, doing really well. So it's holding its own. So, and it was saying, look, you don't need a franchise to always, make a good movie. You can do it like this where people want to go see it. So I love them, both of them. So.
Yeah. I was impressed. I just think Robert Pattinson, he's everybody for the longest time. It was all, Twilight. But this man is way more than that, and I've seen him in several things, and I'm just like, and my daughter commented, she goes, I love that he always looks like a different character. He never looks like the same guy in these shows. These roles he plays, and then Zendaya, she was just so good. And there are a lot of emotions, and you have to go see it. You will love it.
I'm excited. I want to see that. All right. So Outlander's final season is out. And what did Diana do? She signed up for a Star subscription, even though she swore she wouldn't sign up for anything else. But it's I got a short subscription. I'm only bought it for like 3 months or something like that. Because I always have to watch it a year and a half later on Netflix. And I'm like, I'm not waiting a year and a half to watch the finale while everybody else has seen it way ahead of me.
And they'll spoil, you'll read a spoiler,
exactly, Exactly. So I'm like, I'm going to watch it. So, but actually, to be honest, I'm watching the last half of the last season because it hasn't come out on Netflix. So I have to catch up and then quickly catch up. But I think I can do it because it's weekly right now. So are you watching this at all or no?
I have lost track where I am on Outlander, and I told my son that they watch it, and so I told him I'm just going to go back to the season I think I watch, and then start watching and go from there, and hopefully I figure it out. Because I really enjoy it, but I just got lost somewhere when they split that one season. I just got I don't know.
It's that's the latest season, I think.
Well, no, it would have been the prior one. Yeah, not the final season. Yeah, so
not the prior one. That's what I mean. That's where I'm at. The prior season that they split up.
Okay,
that's where I'm at.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Sorry. Yes, and so I'm in there somewhere, but I just can't. I played a couple episodes. I'm like, I don't know who these people are, and I go back another episode. I don't know what's happening here, and I just can't find it. And I'm like, I must have forgotten stuff because somewhere in here I was watching. So I'm just going to go to the prior season and start watching, I guess.
It's good, but you know what? It's good. Like
Mhm.
you can just, and what's interesting with this, sometimes I'll put it on. I'm thinking, okay, it's okay, it's okay, and then all of a sudden something happens, and I'm like, I'm locked in. I'm like, I want to know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So it's good. I was
Mhm.
staying up way too late one
Yeah.
night watching a couple episodes because I'm also watching. I had told you I'd started DTF St. Louis, and I had only seen one episode, and I found it very intriguing, but I didn't have time because I had so many
Yeah.
things else to watch. It's about this threesome, but oh my gosh, I'm back on it. It is so bizarre. It's one of those ones where every single episode there's a twist, and it's like, whoa, what is happening here? Because Jason Bateman and Dave Harbor are friends, and they each have wives, and then you think it's an affair that starts, but it gets, and then somebody dies, and it becomes very convoluted. But then as you go on, more and more things are revealed, and it's different. So if you like that type of story, you might like this. And there's some things that happen in this. So it's very interesting. So I can't give anything away, so people have to
Yeah.
just go watch it. Very good though. Very intriguing.
Mhm.
But the movies, I watched two movies, and one was well, first I'm going to start with Crime 101. That's on Prime with Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry and more. Oh,
Mhm.
Mark Ruffalo,
Oh,
and it's really good. And I'm not always a jewel thief. Oh, you know who else is in it? Barry, is it Barry? How do you say his last
oh
name?
yeah.
Keo.
Okay.
Keo. I
Okay.
think it's
Yeah.
Keo.
Mhm.
He's in here too.
Mhm.
But it starts, it's a heist. It's a
Mhm.
jewelry type heist. And I'm not always like, that's not always my
Mhm.
favorite type of movie, but you know what? It ended up being good. And I wanted to see what is going to happen here. So it's very interesting and very good action. So check that out on Prime. And then I'd been wanting to see Anaconda on Netflix. I think it's been out a couple weeks.
Mhm.
I want to say, I knew it was going to be a comedy. It made me laugh out loud like several times. Like I was like like
Mhm.
curled over, like laughing because it was so damn funny. There's a pee scene that had me dying. Like I was dying. I mean, Jack Black, Paul Rudd, and just so many people. And there's like cameos in this, and it's just so funny. Please go watch it. If you want to laugh, please go watch it. It is so funny and worth it. And I'm going to go watch it again. That's how much I liked it. All right. Well, Renee, thank you for your recommendations. Thank you so much for being here to break down Dark Winds. Truly, I just love the series so much, and I loved everything that you've shared about it. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I know we both love this series, and it's been a lot. I get so much more out of it by doing this, and
Yeah.
being able to talk
Yeah.
about it. And especially you'll say something, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way, so it's always so much
Yeah.
fun. And so I just appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what the next TV show or when this comes back. Thank you again, friends out there. Thank you for tuning in. We hope we gave you some insight, chuckles, some recommendations. Remember to follow Screens in Focus, and please share this podcast with a friend. Keep watching, keep exploring, and keep those screens in focus. We will see you next time. Bye.